Welcome to another edition of Razor's Edge for Rookies. Today I'm going to give you a crash course in constituency codes. I'm getting a lot of questions about these lately, so I thought maybe I would sort of give an overview of what these are and what things like a primary code are. Now, constituency codes can be tricky because both individuals and organizations could have multiple codes. So like for instance, an individual could be a board member, a staff member, a volunteer, an individual, etc. Now, an organization, like individuals, also have multiple ways that you can tag them with a constituency code. Maybe it's a matching gift company, a vendor, a corporation or a business, nonprofit. You get the gist. Well, the idea why this becomes a complicated thing is because in Razor's Edge, they have a thing called the primary code. Now, a primary code is basically what is used to mark any gift given by that individual or organization. So let's go take a look at a record. Or for the purposes of demonstration, I am in the sample database in Razor's Edge, and I'm just going to open up an individual record. Now, the constituency codes are kept on the Bio 2 tab. A lot of organizations have terms that they use as catch-alls like friend or individuals. Now, when you see a constituency code on the right-hand side, you'll notice that there's buttons here. It has an up and a down button. So this allows you to move a code up or down. Now, the primary code is the one that's listed on the very top. And when you ask, well, what is a primary code? What is the purpose of this? Where it comes in play is when you, as an organization, decide to put together something like an annual report. Now, at the end of the year, it's very common that an annual report will be generated, and at some point you're going to ask for this pie chart. And this pie chart is basically a list of where does the money that's coming to support your organization, where is it coming from? And this is a typical sort of the kind of breakdowns you'd see: individuals, business or corporations, foundations of trust, grants, government. Now, each organization might have different pie charts here, but what this is these are the good examples of primary codes. So jumping back to our sample database and looking at a record, whatever code is listed first will be the code that is put onto a gift when a gift is made. So I'm just going to come here as an example, and I'm going to add a gift to this record. Now, the constituency code, unlike for a record, on a gift, it can only have one, and it's a little hard to find. A lot of people don't even know where it is, but if you look under the miscellaneous tab, the constituency is right here. So by default, it will take whatever is first on the record. And the problem with this comes when you have a code that should be a secondary code. So let's say you have a former staff member, and this one's listed first, right? And when you have that listed first, what'll happen when you make a gift is that code will be the one that is set by default. Now, the problem is that pie chart that you're going to create at the end of the year, you don't really want a very small pie slice that's showing former staff members. You want something like all of those lumped into the individual category or the friends. Now, where secondary codes come into play is when you have a date from and a date to. So if a person is a former staff member, there should have been a time that they would have been a current staff member. So typically, when you have primary codes, those are the ones that are going to be in that pie chart that you have for the annual report. And then what will happen is you have these other ones that will have a date from and a date to. So just to put an example, I'll say they were there at the start of the year, and if they're a current employee, the date to would be blank. But if they suddenly stopped working, what would end up happening, I'll just put in today's date and then change this to former employee. So now you have a history of when they worked there. This goes the same with board members. You should have a board member and a former board member, a staff, a former staff or employee, maybe volunteer. You'll also find this if you're in a school. You'll have things like current parent, current grandparent, past grandparent. But those are all perfect examples of secondary codes. So I hope this helped. And for all your Razor's Edge needs, check us out at razorsedgeforrookies.com.